Hello guys, welcome to today's price action analysis video. Let's start analyzing Nifty first. We are on the 5-minute time frame of Nifty. I trade on the 5-minute time frame always, and there are only special occasions when I check the 15-minute time frame, but that's usually to only mark certain zones if I need to. So demand supply zones, to be exact with the markings, I usually use a higher time frame analysis. Okay, so now let's start with the analysis on the 5-minute time frame. This is the price action analysis of the 12th, and to be able to analyze how 12th did and where we should have traded on the 12th, we should be checking out what 11th also did. The regions that are helpful for us are the PDH. This is the previous day high, and this is the previous day low. The PDL and PDH are important levels, and then what is important for us is where is the close in relation to yesterday's CPR and where is today's open in relation to its CPR, and again the relation between the 2-day CPR. So the 2-day relationship between the two CPRs is a higher value relationship, which means that today was a bullish day, especially with the opening, or rather the closing of the previous day being above its CPR and today's open confirming that bullish outlook. So we clearly had a bullish outlook today. We were going to look for only for long trades today. So what I was going to do was I was going to look for trades at either the CPR or the L3 pivot, more likely the L3 pivot here, if price actually did sell off to the L3 pivot. But price never really did that. You can see that the price was bullish today for the entire day, and it did keep going to the upside. Now when you see that we have an ascending CPR or an elevated CPR or a higher value CPR as well as a higher value H3L3, you can check it out from the H3L3 of the 2 days also. This is also a good relation to confirm whether it is a higher or a lower value third level of Camarilla. So this is also a good way to analyze whether it is going to be a bullish outlook today. So a higher value H3L3 suggests that the day will be bullish as long as it opens above the L3 pivot, that is price opens above the L3 pivot today. If it opens below the L3, then the bullish bias is rejected by price. The L3 level was never met today, so there was no real trade in Nifty. The price never really came down to that level. Normally if it opens within the H3 and L3, my rule is to wait for a pullback to the L3 level. Why? Because prices always go up like this. Price will always pull back and it will keep going upward. So you don't want to trade short here, you don't want to trade short here, but when there is a pullback you want to trade at this level. You want to catch the bottom. And how do you catch the bottom? You can catch the bottom by placing levels like the CPR, L3 and L4. So that those are the way to catch the bottoms. So like I said yesterday, when price opened above the H4, I was waiting for price to pull back to the H4, but then since I had the previous day low here and I had seen that it was a wide initial balance, I told you in yesterday's video that I traded on the, or chose to trade on the IBL, that is the initial balance low. And usually when you have a wide initial balance in that is the first 1 hour high and low, first hour high low, then you usually see that the price will usually tend to stay within that zone itself. And today was not a very wide initial balance high and low, so you can see that this particular high was broken here by this candle, and once price took off from there, it took a support, it made a reversal pattern and then bounced again. So where did it go first? From the H4 pivot, where it was initially taking resistance, 1 2 3 4 and 5th time it actually broke it. So it was a convincing breakout on the 5th attempt. After that, price went up straight to the H5 pivot. After H5 it came down again and it took support here. It made a reversal kind of pattern here, and after the reversal pattern it went right up to H5 pivot again. So that is how pivots help you to trade, but no real entry in Nifty today. And I was more interested in Bank Nifty. You can read the tweet I had sent out today morning. I had said that I will look to trade in Bank Nifty today, and my interest in Bank Nifty was for the simple reason that Bank Nifty had opened with a red candle above the previous day's close. This was the previous day's close and Bank Nifty had opened here, and the open was also above the CPR. As I had said yesterday, the CPR was a higher value and the H3 L3 were also higher value. This was today's H3 L3 and this was yesterday's H3 L3, and they were clearly higher value. So that is the reason why I was looking for a or waiting for a trade at the central pivot range, because for the one fact that the central pivot range was very wide today. So I knew that the day would either be a range bound day or a sideways day wherein we wouldn't see much trend at all, or it would be a range bound day like this with small trends like these which I might be able to catch. But Bank Nifty never really sold off to the central pivot. We also had the a combination of pivots here. We had a confluence of pivots here. That was the L3 plus PP, which is my favorite combination. It acts as a very strong combination, so I can place my stop loss somewhere below the BC and I can enter somewhere here, and my profit booking would come at the H3 pivot, or I can wait for the H4 to be achieved also. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes the price just simply goes through the H3 and then it reaches the H4 directly. So it breaks through the R1 also actually sometimes. But then it has to be a very strong trend. Now today we had a strong trend, but the price never really pushed back, or rather pulled back to the L3 pivot. Now my buying position is where it is at the L3. I will not buy somewhere here. I will not buy here and get trapped. I will wait for price to sell back to the L3. Usually the pullback will come to the L3, and L3 is where I get to place my stop loss very safely at. So I can place my stop loss very safely. A most important part is, where is my stop loss? If I keep my stop loss hanging here somewhere, I know that there is no support level here. Do I have any support? But then if I place it at around the BC or below the BC, then I know that I have the TC support, I have the L3 and PP support. So I have a cluster of supports here, and then I can be very confident while holding the trade till it reaches either the H3 or the L4. And as you know, I'm an option writer, so I'm never in a hurry to book my profits. I always wait for my profits to come, and I don't really follow quick trends. I am more interested in buying the dip and selling the rip. So that's how I trade. But as you saw that price never really kicked back or pulled back to the L3 pivot today. So whenever we are in a strong uptrend, any levels below the L3 or any levels below the S1 are useless to me. I don't really pay any attention to those levels. So even if I have them plotted here, they are of no use to me. Price will never even test those levels whenever we are in a strong uptrend. Whenever we are in a strong uptrend, price will always keep mostly above the CPR, and even if it does sell off, then the lowest it will come is either the S1 or the L3 if the L3 is below the CPR. But since the L3 was within the CPR, then the best chance for price to bounce is from within the CPR itself. And now what do we have as far as tomorrow's price or other CPR and L3 H3 are concerned? So let's study tomorrow's CPR first. So tomorrow's CPR is narrower than today's CPR, because today we had a very wide CPR and the day did not really, although it was a trending day upwards and it did make higher low patterns here, but still we did not have much of a trend in today's price action, and hence we see a narrower CPR tomorrow. And let's see what the third level of Camarilla is telling us. We have the third level of Camarilla here, the H3L3, and today's H3L3 was right here. So we do have a higher value H3L3 for tomorrow as well. So it is going to be a kind of a bullish outlook for tomorrow, as long as the price shows me an open above the bottom central pivot. Okay, so anywhere above the bottom central pivot, even if it opens right at the L3, I will still maintain my bullish bias. I can buy it right away at the CPR tomorrow. And let's go to Nifty. Let's check Nifty's CPR tomorrow. So Nifty has a wider kind of a CPR than today. This is the CPR for today, and this is the CPR for tomorrow. So it's a wider CPR, but it is a higher value CPR. And let's check where the H3 L3 are. So this was the L3 and this was the H3 for today, and we can see here that again tomorrow we have a confluence of the central pivot as well as the L3, the third level of Camarilla, which is also elevated. So this is a higher value and a combination of PP plus L3, which is a very good state to trade from. And so if we have an open anywhere above the bottom central pivot, if it breaks through the L3 here with a good green candle, I am going to go long tomorrow. And if the open is somewhere here, I will wait for a pullback to the central pivot and then go long for the with a target at the H3. But since the H4 is very close by, I might wait for a target to reach the price to reach the H4. So I might keep my target at the H4 in Nifty tomorrow. So what will be my buying price tomorrow? Most likely it will be somewhere between 17,780 and 17,800. That will be my buying price for tomorrow. So it will have to be seen how price reacts around those regions. So it's a very simple style of trading I use. I use supports, I use resistances, and I see what demand supply zones are there. I see what gaps are there. One important level you might want to mark is the virgin CPR here, okay, at this level. But usually in my experience I have seen that even if you do not mark those virgin CPRs, that is just fine, because see what happens is if even if price opens below the below this level, below the L3 or H3, then what you're going to do is basically L3 or L4, that is. So what you're going to do is you're going to look to trade a pullback to the CPR, and where will be your target? You look to trade a target which would be at a level from where the price has bounced from. Okay, so if your initial bias tomorrow, which is outlook is bullish, is supposed to be rejected, then the open will have to be below the L3 or below the L4. So in that, only in that case you will require to see where the virgin CPR is. If it actually does open here, I would urge you not to short here, rather wait for price to go back, wait to see a reaction at the CPR, and only then go for a short position. Even then I would rather suggest you not to open a short position, for the simple reason that we are in a strong uptrend right now. And similarly in Nifty, so even if you see that there is an opening below the CPR like this, and if price were to go down like this and were to bounce up from there, then see what happens at the day high, see the reaction at the day high. If you see any sort of reversal candlestick pattern here, let's say an outside bar or something, or an evening star pattern right at the L3, only then look to sell at that level. Otherwise do not look to sell this market. So guys, I hope I'm clear enough, and I hope you have liked this quick video on the trade levels for tomorrow and the price action analysis of today. If you have enjoyed it, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I post a new video. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.